Hello everyone, my name is Carlos Silva, and I am recording this video at 8:37 in the morning. My mom's upstairs working, my brother's asleep, my dad's at work, and I'm in my basement. And so this, if you read the title, is my ranking of, out of all the versions, out of all the bears in Scott Cawthon's Five Nights at Freddy's universe, I'm ranking which one's my favorite to my least favorite. And from what I counted, there's at least 16 of them, like 16 actual animatronic bears, because I didn't count any of the FNAF World ones, because those are just recreations of ones that already exist. And, I didn't count Helpy, because Helpy isn't technically an animatronic. But if I were to put Helpy in the list, he would be at the very bottom. No offense. So, yeah, this is my ranking of all the animatronics from Game 1 to Pizzeria Simulator. So I hope you enjoy. Alright, number 15 is Toy Freddy. And the reason I put Toy Freddy as my least favorite one is because Toy Freddy, I just never really liked him. Like, he comes from FNAF 2, which, I don't know, I kind of like a lot of the FNAF games the same. But I feel as though Toy Freddy, like, they made him really fat, and I have nothing against fat people. Don't take it that way. I didn't like his design, you know, he looks really strange, and just, I don't know, and the voice they gave him, I mean, it fits how he looks, but it's stupid, and the thing you have to do, to keep him occupied in Ultimate Custom Night, that's dumb too. I didn't like that one either. So, I just feel like the way they've made, Toy Freddy and all that, the way Scott Cawthon portrayed Toy Freddy, I feel as though I didn't like, and therefore Toy Freddy is my least favorite. Alright, so number 14 is Ned Bear, and Ned Bear is from Pizzeria Simulator. He's one that you can put on stage. He is from the lightweight animatronics, the second column, whatever one is, the green one. He's alongside Happy Frog, Mr. Hippo, Pork Chop, or whatever his name is, and Candy Cadet. And Ned Bear, I like his voice. Like, that's probably the best quality about him, or at least in my opinion, the best quality about him. But otherwise, he was just kind of there and then not. Like, he's just the same as everyone else. He doesn't exactly have any unique features, and he's not exactly, you know, a scary kind of individual, which I guess they weren't exactly going for, but that's kind of the point of Five Nights at Freddy's if you really think about it. And his design's kind of goofy. And for someone like me, I take things I like very seriously. So, yeah, I don't know, I didn't find him that humorous. The only thing I really like about him is his voice. But I do like him more than Toy Freddy, because at least his design, despite being kind of goofy, isn't as goofy, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Alright, number 13 is the original Freddy from FNAF 1. And I don't like this one that much. Just because he looks cool in the dark, he does. But other than that, he doesn't really appeal to me, I guess, for lack of a better term. His design is was designed alright, I guess. I don't know, they shape his head very weird, and he doesn't do much, you know? Even though it's Five Nights at Freddy's, he isn't exactly the star of his own show, I guess, for lack of a better term. All he does is laugh. And yeah, the design of it just didn't really appeal to me. Like, the more and more I saw, like the different variations of Freddy and all that I saw, the less I started to realize that that one just wasn't that good. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say about that. Alright, number 12 is Lefty. And you might be wondering why I put him so low. I don't put some of these guys that low because I don't like them. I put them that low because there's just different versions of different bears in the game that I like more. Now, Lefty, I take quite an interest in. The fact that he is an encapsulator and he has the puppet in him makes him a very interesting character to me. Not so much the left eye gimmick and all that. That part doesn't really spark my interest. But more so of just the fact that there is a marionette inside of him. And it's trapped inside him. I just feel like that adds some real depth to his character, and I really like the black, shiny look of it. You can find him in Pizzeria Simulator. And yeah. So that is my opinion on Lefty. I like him a lot. Now, number 11 is Rockstar Freddy, which comes from the same game as Lefty. And this was just, you know, a version of Freddy, like a new version of Freddy to fill the quota of the games, which is that every new game has a new version of Freddy, or at least a different type of bear. And this one was Rockstar. Now, I like the way the Rockstars look. I didn't exactly like his mechanics in the Ultimate Custom Night. But I like his voice. His mechanics are pretty good. I don't know why I keep saying mechanics. His looks are pretty good. His voice I like a lot. I just feel like it works well. I like the shininess of him. I think it really fits, you know, in with what they were going for in that game. And yeah, him and Lefty were kind of tied, so this one like particularly doesn't necessarily matter because I like them the exact same. Well, not the exact same, I shouldn't say that. But yeah, I just feel like Rockstar Freddy is kind of like a mix of the Funtime as well as like normal Freddy. And you put those two together and you get Rockstar Freddy, and I feel like that's, you know, pretty cool because Funtime Freddy, well, he's on this list, so you'll see him there eventually. And it takes like just the right amount of Freddy and merges it with the parts I like, with some of the parts I like about Funtime Freddy, and just makes this good mixture, I guess. And yeah, so that is number 11. Alright, so number 10 is Nightmare. Now, Nightmare, I mean, he looks really cool, and, I really like the ideology, the idea behind, Nightmare. I really like, I like his looks a lot. I think that's the best part about him, is how creepy he is, how well he fit in FNAF 4. But in terms of, like, mechanics, he was simply just a copy of Fredbear. He was either equal or, like, the same as Fredbear, or Nightmare Fredbear, or he was a little bit tougher. But, you know, no matter which game he was in, he was always the same as Fredbear. Unless you count FNAF World, but I'm not really counting that one. Because in FNAF 4, he was just a tougher version of Nightmare Fredbear. And in Ultimate Custom Night, he did the same thing as Fredbear on the opposite side of the room. And I found that part quite annoying, is that despite all his potential, they just made him a copy of someone, you know, that's already pretty out there, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, yeah, I really do admire the idea and the looks of Nightmare. But in terms of mechanics-wise, that's not good. Alright, so Nightmare Freddy, it comes up for FNAF 4. Now, he's got this really interesting mechanic with the frettles, which I really like. That appear on your bed, in which you have to turn your light on so they come off your bed, and yada yada yada, stops you from getting jump scared by Freddy. Temporarily, I guess. But yeah, he looks very intimidating. He's got the frettles, which I really like those guys. And he... the only reason he goes higher on this list than Nightmare is because he had unique mechanics that aren't in any other game throughout the franchise. And that's pretty much it. Otherwise, looks, I think I like a little bit less. But yeah. So that is Freddy. Now, Yendo, who is number 8, I believe, if I'm counting correctly. Yendo is this really interesting endoskeleton found in the custom night for Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. Now, Yendo, if you look in the building Funtime Freddy section, he's actually made, like, Yendo is the endoskeleton for Funtime Freddy. But he has the powers of Golden Freddy, therefore raising some questions that, unfortunately, I don't think will ever truly get answered. Now, I don't know, I find, like, Yendo really cool, in the sense that he's such a mystery, that he, yeah, he drains your oxygen really, really fast. He's the same functions as Golden Freddy, but the suit of Freddy, therefore... yeah, I really admire what they went for with Yendo, and I really like, you know, the results of it. So that is Yendo. Now, Nightmare Fredbear, I really like the looks of Nightmare Fredbear. I really like the idea behind it. And of course, I'm putting him up a little bit higher because he was like the original user of the specific mechanics that he has. Because unlike Nightmare, he's not a copy of someone else. He's his own specific thing, retaining the creepiness and the overall, like, mysticality, for lack of a better term, of Golden Freddy from the first game and stuff, but bringing in that new factor to, like, safely put him in FNAF 4 and, like, make him fit in nice and smoothly. It just works really well, and that's what I really like about him. So he is number 7. And that is my analysis on Fredbear. Alright, now Golden Freddy is I was about to say, man, is an animatronic whose name has been tossed around a bunch over these past couple games and has had no reason to be. Like in Sister Location, I don't know why they made the final mode Golden Freddy mode if he wasn't even in the game. In Five Nights at Freddy's 3, he was a very rare chance to pop up. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, he was like a very common thing compared to what he is in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 or Five Nights at Freddy's 1. In Five Nights at Freddy's 2, he was an actual thing that you could interact with if you did 1020 mode. And in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, he's a random encounter that you can, encounter. And I really like him. I really like his jump scare, how he goes into his giant floating head. I really like the twitchy body he has at the cutscene in Ultimate Custom Night. I just find his character very unique, and one, no matter how much it's replicated, can like never be truly the same as him, can never be done better. I find that he has just that right amount of mystery, but that right amount of like presentability, I don't even know if that's a word, but like you know enough about him, but there's still enough mystery. Like, it's that good balance, and I feel like that's like what is really good about Golden Freddy. Now, Shadow Freddy is an encounter you can get in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and Five Nights at Freddy's 2. In Five Nights at Freddy's 1, he appears, in both games, he appears in the parts and service room, sitting down, and I really like him. Like, I like the idea that he's, like, a really dark purple, and I know he's kind of the same as Golden Freddy in the sense that they're both, like, sitting down, sort of. But I really like... He's also, you know, in theory, the costume that purple guy wore in order to kill, the children in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, which I like that too because I really like William Afton, who is the purple guy. He's my favorite animatronic, otherwise known as Scrap Chat, but that's besides the point. I just really like Shadow Freddy, the mysticality behind it, the lore behind it, the theories and all that. I find him pretty cool, his design's pretty cool, all that stuff. Okay, next is Molten Freddy, and the reason I would have put Molten Freddy lower, even though all he does is laugh, he comes from one of my favorite characters, which I've already talked about, but hasn't been put in the list yet because he's very high up. And Molten Freddy is a combination of Ballora, Ennard, and Molten Freddy. And Funtime Foxy, I think, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I find that's pretty cool that, like, he's a combination of all that, and he's just a bunch of strings, like, that's all he is. And I find it pretty cool. He's like a snake type figure in the vents. And, yeah, there's not much to say other than the fact that I really like him. And he's one of my favorites just for that, like, crazy bombastic nature that he brings to the table. And so, yeah. Okay, Withered Freddy comes in number 3 because Withered Freddy is like extremely tall guy that I really, really like. I really like how tall he is. I feel like it brings this sense of like overpowering and like this, just this like looming threat that it's so cool, especially in Five Nights at Freddy's VR or Help Wanted. Just to see him, like, how tall he is, it's absolutely insane, and I love it. I also love you can see in the endoskeleton in him. I like how he has got, like, a more narrow head. I like that he keeps, like, the fur. He has, like, fur. but is also not too over the top. I like how big he is. I like his design a lot. And yeah, he's one of my favorites. Okay, next is Phantom Freddy. Now, Phantom Freddy comes in second place because ever since I laid eyes on him, I've really liked like his looks, that burnt look to him that he has, that he's like sneaking around outside the glass in Final Freddy's 3. And I don't know what it is, I just really like the phantom look of Freddy. I feel like the colors blend really well, the like shadowy eyes that he have is pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know, it's really cool. And so, yeah. Alright, and that leaves us with number 1. And can you guess who it is? If you can't, I'm disappointed in you. It is Funtime Freddy. Funtime Freddy is the coolest bear and Freddy there is. I mean, he has a cool voice. He's got a funny hand puppet, but that's besides the point. He's got a cool voice, a cool design to him. His face splits open, and he is insane, and I love that about him. I love his glitchy voice. I love everything about him, and it's super cool to see him that way. I can't express it. It's just so fascinating, so great, and that's what all I have to say. So yeah. Anyways, that has been my analysis on all the bears, or I guess all 15 bears, in the Final Fantasy franchise. If you like this, comment, sub, like if you want, I don't really care. Send us challenges to do in the comments below. And I, Carlos Cedar Silva, am going to pull an errand and no, I'm not going to. I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.